Have you ever promised yourself that you would stop being too nice? Well, I did. But the very next day, I was at the airport, and after bonding briefly with a young lady at the check in counter over excess luggage and seating request, she looked at me, smiled, and said, Ma'am, I've been working here for the past 5 years, but I've never met someone so kind and nice to me through this chaos. I smiled and thanked her, but deep inside, I wasn't happy with myself. It was just the day before I had promised that I would retire from the Nice People's Association. Why? Because I was tired of always being taken for granted, being labeled as a people pleaser and a potential Oscar winning actress. I was tired of always being the one to compromise. Yet here was a stranger unknowingly handing me a life riddle. Is being nice a strength or a flaw? Should I restart? It is this life riddle that has led me here today. A beautiful day chosen for me to share my simple story and a journey of a humble yet powerful restart. Tonight, let's walk this journey together. A journey through kindness, boundaries, identity, and impact. And maybe we will be able to redefine what it truly means to be nice. And at the end, let's decide together whether it's really worth holding on to. So, I grew up hearing the right advice: stay strong, learn to say no, stand up for yourself, be assertive. But something within me quietly resisted that script. Because ever since childhood, I had developed this deep sense of emotional awareness, a part of me that was not taught but was simply born. If someone was hurt, I felt it. If someone needed help, I was there even before they asked. And I've got into a lot of trouble as well. But I never knew how to walk past a need without responding to it. I still go out of my way to help people, be it running errands for my neighbors, cooking for them, taking care of their children, especially when their world is falling apart, helping with carrying luggage throughout the airport for elderly people and for mothers who are struggling with their ever exploring toddlers. My children call me an in flight nanny because I've taken several times, I have taken that extra step to help that petrified young new mother who is battling her way to pacify her teeny weeny co passenger. As a teacher, I still spend sleepless nights helping my students with their extracurricular activities just so that their resume gets a facelift. It's 24 years since I'm teaching in the UAE, and I'm trying my best to be a second mother for my students. And as an animal lover, I do not mind stopping at highways to move those little birds and cats who could not make it in life, just so that they are not crushed further. And I've said yes to millions of other things long after I had the energy to follow through. So, me being nice doesn't discriminate. It extends to animals, birds, and even inanimate things. By the way, this is not self glorification. This is just who I am, and this is my truth. And I'm sure many of you here have similar untold stories, moments of being nice which have gone totally unnoticed, but you did it, not for recognition, but you just simply felt it right. Unfortunately, life has its own weird ways of responding to these illusions. Here's a paradox. Despite my pure intentions and zero expectations in whatever I do, being nice has always been misunderstood. I've learned that it has been mistaken for weakness or fear of other people. My loved ones still feel that I'm trying way too hard to please others or to be in their good books. And when I have opinions that are strong ones, people are surprised just because my demeanor is gentle. Among academic circles, this is what I hear. Oh, so do you give away free marks to get your students to like you so much? In personal circles, I get to hear this. We cannot sugarcoat words like you. Here comes Saint Rekha. And among new acquaintances, this is the expression I always get, even today. You're a professor? But you're too nice. How do you control your students? Do they listen to you? So it's like being nice and credibility cannot exist in the same body. And I'm sure many of you have asked this question. I did later. In a world which measures success by control and not compassion, and strength by ego and not empathy, where does being nice genuinely fit in? I thought I need to change. Gradually, I started toughening up. I started practicing saying no. I rehearsed more guarded responses. I told myself that boundaries are walls and not bridges. And you know what happened? Instead of feeling empowered, confident, and strong, I felt weaker, smaller, and insignificant. I was not protecting myself, I was abandoning myself. I was losing my true identity. And it is then that I thought that I will not change. Instead, I will restart being nice. And this time with much more confidence, clarity, and warmth. And you know how did I do this? Just by following four simple principles. Showing kindness intentionally, guarding my boundaries without closing my heart, realizing that every act, small or big, noticed or unnoticed, has a powerful impact to move this world. And finally, give a small, gentle smile to those criticisms because I realized that their opinions are temporary, but my peace is permanent. My friends, I think this is the restart we all need, many of us need. And the reassurance that being nice is not something we have to outgrow as we grow older. It is something we have to relive, embrace, and reclaim as we grow wise. Know that being nice and strong are not opposites. In fact, to be nice, you need strength. It is showing compassion with clarity. And remind yourself that your thoughts, your actions, and your intentions are your brush strokes on your canvas. How other people interpret your painting is way beyond our brush. And the minute we start seeing being nice not as an instinctive tendency, but as a deliberate choice, there's an inner peace, an inexplicable bliss. Because you're no longer nice out of habit, you're nice on purpose. This world does not need fewer nice people. It needs more people who are bold enough to be nice and brave enough to be real. And with that, let me invite you to few memorable moments that has happened in my life just because I was truly nice. My driving sessions were coming to a close, and my driving instructor in the car looked at me and said, "Ma'am, you're a kind of person people wouldn't even think of cheating or hurting just because your calmness and your softness makes guilt impossible." It's more than 24 years since this happened, and I'm still trying to decipher what he meant by it. What were his intentions? I don't know. But whatever it is a stark reminder to all of us that if you're nice and if it's genuine, it not only protects others, but it disarms the very instinct to exploit you. A student of mine, whom I taught several years before, invited me for his wedding. I'm sure from my children he got my details and he booked my tickets and a 3-day hotel stay. I was feeling very embarrassed. I attended the wedding with lot of love and guilt. When I returned, I noticed, since I have the memory of a goldfish, I left my return gift at the hotel. That's fine. I let it go. In a week, at my doorstep, here was a parcel, the same return gift. This time I was shocked beyond words. The student was just another student in my class, just another face in my large lecture hall. No special attention, no special care. Then why this regard? My friends, it is these moments that teach us that being nice, when practiced with authenticity, has a powerful impact to travel across decades. To the airport agent who called me the nicest person she'd ever met, thank you. Because you taught us, you reminded us that being nice is not a flaw, but a powerful force. So maybe all of you, including myself, need not stop being nice. But we should stop apologizing for it and instead restart owning it with confidence and grace. Because being nice is not a weakness to overcome, it is a powerful force to embrace. When our time is done and when we exit this beautiful world, let's keep our legacy simple. That our children and all those people who experienced our warmth emulate and continue our quiet and silent journey. When all is said and done, do you want to be remembered for your titles and achievements? Because titles will fade and your trophies will gather dust. But being remembered as a truly nice person is a glow that will never ever lose its shine. Think about it. Thank you for listening.